Hi guys, welcome back to Learning English and Literature. In this video, I will attempt the general questions on literary appreciation. There are always 20. I will attempt the questions and explain the answers to you. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and let's reach a wider audience. Question 1. A literary work in which action and characters represent ideas is A. An allusion? No. B. An epigram? No. C. An allegory? Yes. D. An innuendo. Allusion is a figure of speech that makes reference to the past. An epigram is a figure of speech. An innuendo is an indirect remark. So allegory here is a literary work in which the characters and actions represent ideas. It is from allegory that we got fable. Now, the most popular fable work that we all know is George Orwell's Animal Farm. Question 2. Peter's pretty partner paid the bills. A. Alliteration. B. Rhyme. C. Satire. D. Digression. The correct answer here is alliteration. If you look at the expression here, the first letter of almost every word in this expression begins with the same consonant, letter, and sound. Pa. Peter, pretty, partner, paid. Okay? A stanza of 4 lines in poetry is called A. Quatrain, C. A. Quatrain, B. Sestet, C. Octave, D. An elegy. A quatrain is a poem of 4 lines. B. A sestet is a poem of 6 lines. An octave is a poem of 8 lines, while an elegy is a poem written to honor the dead. Question 4. O Happy Torment is an example of A. Oxymoron, B. Synecdoche, C. Innuendo, D. Simile. The correct answer here is oxymoron because 2 opposite words are placed side by side, happy and torment. A recurring dominant idea in a work of art is called a setting, B. Conflict, C. Plot, D. Motive. Setting is the place and time of the play or the story. Conflict is the fight between the protagonist and the antagonist. The plot is the arrangement of the events in the play. Motive is the recurring dominant idea in a work of art or any form of literature. The correct answer here is motive. Question 6. A question which does not require an answer is A. Discuss, B. Rhetorical, C. Ironic, D. Flashback. A rhetorical question does not require an answer. For example, when you say, who is like unto thee, O Lord? You do not expect an answer from God, okay? So rhetorical questions do not require an answer, and this is used to create an effect. A literary work written in form of a letter is A. Creative, B. Romantic, C. Tautological, D. Epistolary. This is a prose form written in form of a letter. Any prose form written in form of a letter is called an epistolary. A perfect example is Mariam Abbas' So Long a Letter. Question 8. The lawyer addressed the bench illustrates A. Metonymy, B. Alliteration, C. Simile, D. Oxymoron. I told you in my figure of speech video where I distinguish between metonymy and synecdoche. Anytime you think metonymy, think symbolism. The bench here is a symbol for the judges. So the correct answer here is metonymy. I would advise you to watch the video on metonymy and synecdoche once more. Question 9. The concluding part of a play where the conflict is resolved is the A. Resolution, B. Enjambment, C. Denouement, D. Climax. Enjambment is a technique used in poetry. The climax is the most tensed part of a play, okay? The highest point of a play. Option A and option C are the same. Resolution is where the conflict is resolved. Denouement is also where the conflict in drama is resolved. So you have 2 answers here, option A and option C. Technically, in theater, we use denouement. Option A and option C, they mean the same thing, okay? This is where the conflict is resolved. So we have 2 possible answers here, resolution and denouement. Question 10, a character whose flaws combined with external forces lead So he's suffering is A. Heroine, no. Tragic hero, yes. Hero, no. Protagonist, no. A tragic hero, now, I would advise you to also watch my video on tragedy. I explained everything about the tragic hero there. The tragic hero is the protagonist that suffers based on his flaws and other external forces. Macbeth, Julius Caesar, they are all tragic heroes. So the correct option here is B, tragic hero. Question 11. Pick the odd item out of the underlisted. A, ode, B, elegy, C, sonnet, D, simile. Options A to C are types of poems, while option D is a figure of speech. So the correct option here is D, simile. Question 12. Pregnant clouds is an example of A, cliche, B, lithos, C, metaphor, D, synecdoche. Obviously, the answer is metaphor. I explained this question in my previous video on revision in English and literature. A writer's choice of words is his diction. The diction is what the writer chooses words to use for a particular work, to use in a particular work of art. Question 14. The art of creating fictional personages constitutes. Please watch my video on types of characters. A character is a personage in a work of art. So the art of creating fictional personages refers to as characterization. So the correct option here is B. Question 15. A deliberate use of exaggeration for the purpose of humor or emphasis is metaphor, no. B, irony, no. C, simile, no. No use of answer like. D, hyperbole. Hyperbole, you exaggerate. I'll also advise you to watch my video on hyperbole, figures of speech. Question 16. Drama is meant to teach manners only, no. Criticize, no. Educate and entertain, yes. Be read and acted only, no. Option C, educate and entertain. Question 17. A piece of writing which teaches morals is A, serious, no. B, didactic, yes. C, playful, no. D, analytical. A piece of writing that teaches morals is referred to as didactic. Question 18. A poem of 14 lines is an elegy, no. A dirge, no. A sonnet, yes. An ode, no. A sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. There are two types of sonnet. We have the English or Shakespearean sonnet, and we have the Italian or Petrarchan sonnet. The penultimate question. Shakespeare's poetry consists mainly of A, quatrain, B, heroic verse, C, blank verse, D, couplet. The correct answer here is quatrain. Now let's go back to question 18. Remember I told you here that there are two types of sonnet, the Italian or Petrarchan and the Shakespearean or English. The Shakespearean or English type of sonnet consists of 3 quatrains and a couplet. The Shakespearean sonnet consists of 3 quatrains and a rhyming couplet. So the dominant lines of poems in Shakespearean poems is quatrain. So you have 3 quatrains and a rhyming couplet. So quatrain, option A is the correct answer. The last question. A piece of writing or speech at the beginning of a work of art is the A, prologue, B, dialogue, C, monologue, D, epilogue. The correct option here is prologue. The dialogue is a conversation between 2 characters. A monologue is a long speech by a character on stage to the audience. An epilogue is a piece of writing or speech at the end of the work. So the prologue is the correct answer. Thank you very much, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and let's continue to reach a wider audience.